petrified wood. This is the inside of the tree, and then it's really cool. This is actually the bark right here. So you can see there's a little line, and then this actually has that texture of the bark. This is about 200 million years old. How did it happen, and why do we care? We have to go back about 200 million years. So the petrified forest was on the southern part of Pangaea during the late Triassic, and it would have been tropical. It would have been warm, it would have been humid, it would have been wet, it would have been filled with trees. There would be a flood, the trees would fall over, and one of two things could happen to the trees at that point. They could either very quickly decay and become essentially like a coal bed, or they could be buried very quickly. And once they're buried with that sediment, the water is still passing through it. That water has to have something called a silicate. So now we've talked about something entirely different. Silicates. Silicates are one of the most common mineral families, especially in igneous rocks. There was a volcano erupted, it deposited volcanic ash. The volcanic ash, of course, has silicates in it. Silica, Si, and 2 oxygens, O2, and then a bunch of other elements along with it to create different minerals. Over time, that volcanic ash weathers. As it weathers, it creates this whole other mineral called bentonite. Bentonite is a clay. The water flows through these clay beds and it picks up the silicates. It picks up SiO2 in particular. That water passes through the piece of wood and it removes the organic material and replaces it with SiO2. It actually turns the wood into quartz. This is the same process that dinosaur fossils undergo. So over time, this actually crystallizes and becomes basically a giant piece of quartz. You see all the different colors here, the yellow, the red, the blue, all of that is from impurities, trace elements that might cause the colors to change within the quartz itself. Why do we care? We care because, first of all, it's tremendously cool. But beyond that, we care because the petrified forest gives us a ton of information. It tells us about the environment at the time. It tells us about what trees we could have found there. There are a lot of preserved actual species of animals too. So we can learn all about the different habitats, things like that. In sum, super cool, filled with lots of information. Petrified wood.